Hey fellow comrades, what's been happening? It's the boys in here, and today we're gonna be having a match against the TheFlawlessWin. This actually is his YouTube channel name. I will leave it in description. I was looking for some matches on Skype and he was kind enough to accept my challenge. Here is the match and this is how it went. So I'm gonna lead with my Samatot, he's gonna lead with his Serperior. Already outplay me right from the bat. Good guy. Good job, let's go. I switch out to Duosion. I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna go for the sub lead seed, probably, I'm kinda guessing, but then he reviews me Calm Mind. I'm like, OMG. Because the problem right now is that I was hoping it's a sub seed, being that it's very early in the match. I was not expecting him to start setting up on me, but then again, most setups early don't really work, but that's based on the situation you are given, based on the team you are facing. And my team, there is really not much thoughts when picking this team. Like there are a couple of Pokemon that work well. There is a Pokemon that doesn't really make much sense to be running with this team. You're gonna see which Pokemon I'm talking about. But as of right now, I definitely need to reverse my strategy as a whole and try to play a little bit more careful, or else this Pokemon will just ruin my day completely. So he does realize the light screen is up. He's gonna go for the Calm Mind again. And he's at +3, ladies and gentlemen. Serperior is going to be taking this Sludge Bomb. Even after being super effective, it's really not going to be doing much. Now, luckily, we did manage to poison it. And with the sub getting destroyed by the poison, that is something that I can only praise. Thank you, Sludge Bomb. That's all I can really say about that. So I'm going to go for the Sludge Bomb. Again, I'm Scarf. I'm going to outspeed. Serperior coming in again. Gonna go for the Giga Drain. That is an overgrowth. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear Hunter taking anything that is like maybe like four time resisted things, yes, those he can take, but this is resisted only 2 times, and considering it was an overgrowth +3 light screen, man, it's all light screen. It is incredible. The screens are so good. They are just on a whole new scale. They make even the most frailest Pokemon take moves like from that sort of caliber. Like that was some serious pressure level of power, and Hunter still manages to somehow go through like it was a piece of cake. Still, Poison was making it a killable range. He switches out to Lickilicky afterwards, going for the Heal Bell to recover his Serperior's poison as well as this guy's poison. And yo, so close, and you're gonna see this Fane is a pain in the ass. If you check out my team, you can only see that there are 2 Pokemon that can handle this, and with Dragon Tail, I'm in the reasonable, well, not really reasonable amount. I still survive with Hunter, but the problem is I cannot directly switch out with. So I switch out to my Primeape. The way he didn't protect against the Hunter on the Wish, I guess expect me to switch out or something. The thing is that I was thinking he doesn't have Protect, but he does. And this makes this Lickilicky even that much more painful to deal with. Because the problem is, I was kind of hoping he's got T-Wave, and he's not going to be T-Waving my ground-type Pokemon, so I can directly switch out to this, and hoping he's got, he doesn't have Protect, but he does have it, so that's a Protect Wish, of course, set. That's mighty unfortunate. I did go for the Close Combat, then I'll go for the Close Combat again, thinking that Golurk is a little bit too obvious, so he may just think I will double switch, but he doesn't have much to really lose from making such a safe move in general, and it did work out in his favor as he did put up the rocks. As I switch out to my Samatot. Now I make a double switch, expect him to switch out. Let's see what kind of move he's gonna do. If he's gonna stay in A, I can still go to Hunter and appropriately play on the next move based on the decisions he is making. But his decision is to switch out to Lickilicky. I'm gonna switch out to my Duosion. He's gonna go for Heal Bell again, totally get rid of that poison. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, how am I gonna handle this? Like, the Protect is a problem for Primeape, and this really gives me thinking what I would have done to bring in like a sub Primeape. Like, for God's sake, I gotta use that guy. Like, Scarf is so, Scarf, Bandit, Choice, the Primeapes are so obvious that it's just easy to play with a subset. It really is, just because most people predict them to be choiced, and they get surprised and something goes down. So that is definitely a Pokemon that I should consider changing his moveset, not being so freaking obvious. So he's just going for the Dragon Tail, getting some damage against the Duosion. I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rocks. Voltro is gonna need to Rapid Spin before that Rotom Hiss comes in. But then again, Rotom is at full HP, so he can still come in every now and again. Lickilicky can maybe even pass away the Wish, which is a problem because I'm trying to dealt with this guy without giving him the opportunity to Wish Pass into his Serperior. Serperior is probably the biggest threat, as well as Lickilicky, when it comes down to his defensive capabilities. The Serperior's offense is the problem, considering my team and how I have the lack of Pokemon to really truly handle it. Anyways, I did go for the U-turn, then go for the U-turn again. He surprisingly switched out to Golurk. I don't know why he switches out. He could have easily taken the U-turn there and being a threat even further, but this makes me go for the Seed Bomb. Stand your ground, Serperior. You stand no chance against the mighty dinosaur that is Meganium. Ladies and gentlemen, Seed Bomb. This is an offensive Meganium. Select Berry, Sword Dance, Earthquake, and you know, it's just an excellent Pokemon in general. Makes that big threat go down, so I'm starting to get a little bit relieved, considering, okay, Serperior is down, don't need to stress too much about the Wish Pass to it. A possibility is there, so that is long gone, so that is great. I switch out to my that derpy guy, you call it derp, and like it's like the disrespect level, man. Even this game is disrespectful towards him. It's under the text, it's not even shown like clearly, man. That Pokemon just doesn't deserve that. What the hell? But Earthquake is something I was kind of expecting, so I switch out directly into my Symitoad. I do take it well. He does realize it's not going to be a two-shot, so he's going to directly switch out to his Lickilicky. I'm going to go for the Poison. Again, I'm trying to, you know, give him forcing into Heal Bell. That may just give me one free turn. Plus, I don't have much else to lose. It's not like his Lickilicky is running Toxic of his own. So, based on that little fact, I can probably even manage to do something about this. But again, he's, you know, just boom, yeah, directly into this. This is just bad. I would have rather prefer like Primeape coming in, because that, you know, would have made the poison go even further, seeing that if he would protect and so forth. But yeah, he would have been forced to switch out. Now I switch out to Dorjan as he decided to Heal Bell. Heal Bell was unavoidable at that particular moment of time, considering that there is really not much I can do against him with my electric ground type Pokemon. So I'm switching out to my Dorjan, thinking, okay, Reflect, he's probably gonna switch out to this. I could have Psychic and probably even two-shot, but the Reflect, I can take pretty much everything he's got, and that Shadow Punch is like regenerate damage. So if I switch out now, I'm pretty much gonna be regenerating most HP damage he's been doing to me on this particular moment of time. So that is incredible. I decided to switch out, he decided to switch out. I was expecting him to switch out to Lickilicky, you know, expecting me to really not do much against him one-on-one, but he switches out to this, which was very surprising. I guess he was expecting me to switch out to Meganium, considering that with the Reflect support, there's really not much Golurk can do outside of like a possible Dynamic Punch. But then again, he is running Shadow Punch, so there's a possibility of him running Iron Fist, you know, and not really No Guard. But still, I'm gonna go for the T-Wave. And Stunfisk, come on, man. It's just that, look at him, he's trying so hard to be clear, but he's still under the text, man. That's just bad. But he's gonna go for the Dragon Tail, and you're gonna see that that little guy that was under the text is just the key to the game itself. You're gonna see this is gonna be incredible. The paralyzation, ladies and gentlemen, it was that T-Wave that saved the day. Go for the close combat and make this Lickilicky stand out. Just stand out. Stop, please, Lickilicky, man. You're too good. Finally, we managed to take him down. I guess it was just going for the Protect, you know, in case I go for the Ice Punch, in case I predict this to come in. He couldn't afford to over-predict, plus he just go for Protect, but I managed to get that 25% chance paralyzation on that particular turn. I switch out to this guy. I was like, you know, you did your best. You are pretty much the key of taking that Lickilicky down, and if it was not for the T-Wave, I still don't know what I would have done against that guy. Like, literally, Golurk and Lickilicky were walling my team left and right, and I had to switch out every now and again, Stealth Rock damage. It was pretty ridiculous, but I had to sacrifice him based on his team he is currently having at his disposal. I switch out to my Dorjan yet again. He's gonna go for the Rapid Spin on the switch, and afterwards he's gonna go for the Toxic, which I'm thinking, okay, checking out my team, this guy can probably appreciate. Then again, Symitoad would appreciate even more. So I guess I could have just I should have, yes, I should have directly switched out to Symitoad and go for the Poison. I should have not allowed that Dorjan to get poisoned, because that's gonna be doing damage. and he does have fake out Kangaskhan that is going to be flinching and so forth. So at the end of the day, he is preserving his Kangaskhan. He's playing smart. He does realize that Kangaskhan is a very important essence late game, and he can come in, get the fake out damage, more poison damage and so forth, then switch out and come in and do the same job twice. So that Feint is going to be a threat, but looking at stuff, I'm thinking, okay, I can go for the Stealth Rocks. He's gonna Rapid Spin. He does realize I'm gonna go for the Stealth Rocks again. So the guy does outplay me right here. He does realize there is nothing he can lose. But then again, it is the poison damage. I'm kinda, you know, we're both kinda dishing out towards each other, considering that he does not have lefties, and I do have lefties, making it a little bit easier for me. But then again, we did take him down to about half, a little bit less than half, but it's still great. I switch out this. He's gonna Rapid Spin again, just in case I put up the rocks. I keep on putting up the rocks. The speed that he does have make him go second, which is actually quite useful. So sometimes being slower is more useful, considering when you actually Rapid Spin. You would rather see Rapid Spinning on the second turn than, well, it depends on the situation you are given. Like if Rapid Spin kills something, you would rather be first. But I switch out to my side method. He's gonna switch out to this. On the same turn, if I'm not mistaken, lefties did go first on his side. That means he is faster, but with the Reflect, that guy is definitely not going to be taking me down any day soon. Expect me to go for the Earthquake. I go for the Icy Wind as a support. Of course, you know, thinking about it, with such team I'm running here, it's really not that useful. But again, this team I put together, there are a couple of Pokemon that are really common and it would work well, but there are just two Pokemon that I don't feel. There are just too many walls, and you know, when it comes down to offense, I don't have it enough, and I feel like I would need one more Pokemon to kind of balance things out, at least one more offensive Pokemon, because I'm thinking, you know, the Lickilicky was a problem because I didn't have much to hit him with, and the Protect was a Scout with Golurk. I need to have something else in order to handle him, and that's why I had problems, because I didn't have much to handle him, and most walls, you know, Lickilicky could have easily sponge. But he did trick back there, getting some lefties, and then afterwards I put up the rocks. I managed to go to my Primeape yet again, managed to take him down. That was great. I guess he was predicting me to maybe predict him to switch out, considering he can take whatever I have. You know, well, really, he could somehow take if he did make the appropriate switch, but then again, if I were to U-turn, then he would have taken it either way, so I couldn't play in it risky, and I did take him down. But now fake out crit is gonna happen. That is very detrimental, because the regenerate recovery is not gonna be as great as one would hope for. So I'm gonna switch out my Meganium, but he managed to take me down that particular turn, and I'm thinking, okay, you go for the Sucker Punch, that's great. I'm gonna go for Reflect. I managed to avoid his Sucker Punch, but as you're gonna see, maybe I should have just stayed in and just go for, well, I did stay in. Maybe I should have just attack and not really go for the Reflect on that particular turn. But then again, Sucker Punch would probably take me down. It's the Feint that Duosion is very bulky, even without the Reflect involved. So he did have Life Orb, yeah, it would probably take me down. But I switch out to my Primeape. The guy gets crit. I mean, I would have taken one without a doubt, and I would have probably even take Sucker Punch afterwards, because it is on stab and I do resist. And with the Reflect, even the likes of Primeape are decently bulky. So unfortunately, that was not the case. I go for the Psych, and the switch to Primeape was the moment of truth. Thinking that he will preserve fake out for later on, switching out as well. I was hoping that's gonna happen, but it didn't. And here is where he was really surprised with the Earthquake, because we managed to take it with the Reflect. Really shows how defensive potential of the Ocean truly is. So that was one too short, considering he still had Wartortle at his disposal, and that was the game for today. So man, screens are great. Like, I know screens, you barely ever face screens in NU, and I'm really surprised, because they are really essential. They make even the frailest Pokemon decently bulky, and the defensive Pokemon incredibly bulky on zone. The reason I'm running Regenerate with Duosion is because Duosion's support is mostly dedicated to its teammates. It's really not for him. Sometimes it does work for him, but either way, I would rather see switching out, getting most of my HP back without recovering and stalling my screens, which you want to preserve and abuse as quickly as possible after being used on the stage. So that was the game for today. Good game to my opponent, the flawless win. Yeah, that was a pretty flawless match actually. The Lickilicky was making it a little bit yeah, the road was a little bit chopped off everywhere, but we managed to take that guy down even with a little bit of luck. But that was the game for today, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and yeah, thank you very much for your continuous support. Until next time, guys, take care, peace.